Hello again from the French Alps, I'm Mike, and today we're looking at the Etape du Tour route 2023 and specifically a detailed look at the fourth climb of the day, the Col de Ramaz. The foot of the Ramaz is roughly halfway through the event. You'll have covered 80 kilometres and already climbed around 2,100 metres. By coincidence, I rode the climb earlier in the summer with John Taylor from MontBlancGuides.com, who kindly brought his drone along. So as you approach the Col de Ramaz, it's important to know that there are no water stops or water fountains anywhere along this climb. So when you reach the summit, as you'll see from the video, apart from the stunning views, there's literally a car park. My guess is that there's going to be a feed station at the summit of the Ramaz, but I would also guess that there's going to be some kind of water station partway up the Ramaz. So the Col de Ramaz can be broken down into 4 sections. Over the 14-kilometre climb to the summit, you're going to be climbing 960 metres in total, and the statos suggest that the average gradient is 7%, but the gradient is definitely not consistent, and there's even some flat sections and a slightly downhill section. So looking specifically at the first section, it's typical start to an alpine climb. Initially the road seems to ramp up to nearly 10%, so immediately as you pass the church the gradient eases. Now this first section takes in 7 kilometres, so roughly half of the climb. At this point on the road, on a clear day, there's a stunning view across the Gifre Valley to Mont Blanc. Winding up through these lower alpine meadows, there's a brief respite on a short downhill section around kilometre 3. As the road continues up through the meadows, at this point, if you look ahead and upwards, you can see how high you need to climb. Away in the distance is the avalanche shelter that leads into the tunnel. This will be the 4th time that the Col de Ramaz is featured in the Tour de France. It was a relative latecomer to the race, its first appearance in 2003, then 2010 on the stage to Avoriaz and 2016 to Morzine. It should have been in the Etape that year, 2016, however it was taken out of the route due to risk of rockfalls on the descent. Now in my opinion, the second part of the climb is the toughest part. Just after 7 kilometres to go, the road swings sharply right and suddenly the road is clinging to a cliff. The gradient reaches double digits here as you wind through an avalanche shelter and eventually into the tunnel. Now the tunnel marks the steepest part of the climb, and if it's a scorching hot day, this will certainly give you a break from the sun. There's very little shade on the whole of the Col de Ramaz, so make sure that you do pack your factor 30. Immediately after the tunnel exit, you pass the 4 kilometre to go board, and another 250 metres you reach the plateau. Now the plateau marks the 3rd section of the climb, and this is definitely the easiest section. This is the mountain restaurant on the right here, which may or may not be open on the day. On this section, the gradient eases to around 5% average, although there's some easier sections to allow you to spin out your legs. This plateau on the right here is a popular cross-country ski area in the winter. If you're back to watch the tour stage, the far end of this plateau is a great place to watch, as you have a good view of the riders for quite some time. As you pass the ski chairlifts, we're onto the final ramps to the summit, and this final section 4 is just over 2 kilometers till you reach the top. The gradient steepens to 8 and 9%. As you get to this corner, the gradient eases significantly. This lake on the left is for the artificial snowmaking for the ski season. The col sign is just on the right here, and again, there should be a stunning view towards Mont Blanc straight ahead of you. You'll see on the left here that there's ample place for a feed station or a minimum of a water station. So that's a detailed look at the Col de Ramaz. By all means, drop any questions in the comments below and I'll answer them for you. We're filming more content for the 2023 Etape du Tour, including a detailed look at the descent off the Ramaz, and you can reach our growing playlist by clicking the link up to the left. So for now, good luck with your training over the winter months. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Cycling in the French Alps.